Hi and welcome to the 2018 paper 1 of the Junior Cert Higher Level. This is question 10, okay, and as usual, if you want the set of notes I'm working off, just send me an email at shanetroy@gmail.com, and that email address should be in the description below. So we have a question here, it's worth 15 marks, and it's a tax question. So the rates and bands for income tax are as follows: €35,000 at 20% tax, and the rest of your pay or whatever income at 40%. So it's fairly standard. This will be called the standard rate cutoff point. So if you earn above this, you pay tax at a higher rate. It's the curse of all employees. So A, Lorna has a gross income of 50 grand, lucky her, for the year. Using the rates and bands above, work out her total income tax for the year. So basically how it works is on the first 25,000 of this 50,000, she pays tax at 20%. On the rest, so that'd be what, 15,000, she pays tax at 40. The answer done out here. So basically that's the statement there. Now you can calculate the difference between 50 and 25,000 by taking them away. That gives the 15,000 here. Now I've, in one sense maybe, well no, junior to high level, 20% is the same thing as 20 over 100. Okay, that's what percent is. If you do the calculation there, you're going to get this, the same thing as 2/10, or in decimal, that's the same thing as 0.2. So if you multiply by 0.2, it just saves calculations. It's the same thing. Okay, normally people will multiply by 20, then divide by 100. So same here with the 15,000 by the 0.4, that generates these two figures. Now, technically, you could have programmed the whole thing in the calculator and gone straight to the answer. But I've just included the two intermediate steps just to show what happened. And 7,000 and 6,000 is 13,000. Okay, so that's how much tax she pays on her 50,000 of earnings. Now part B here, we're 10 marks, okay, so it's complete the graph on the next page. So I have it screen printed here to show the amount of income tax for every gross income up to 60,000 per year. Show all your workings out. So the amount of tax is shown for gross incomes up to 10,000. See here you have your x-axis going up in tens, thousands. Okay, and you have your amount of income tax here going up in 2,000s. Okay, so if you earn 10,000, okay, you pay 2,000 tax. Now you can calculate that over here if you want in the space, but whatever. If I earn 20,000, I pay 20% of that, so it's 4,000. If I earn 30,000, I pay 20% of that, 6,000. Now here's where things change, okay? If I earn 40,000, I'm gone over the cutoff point. Cutoff point is at 35,000. So at 35,000, I'll be paying 7,000 in tax. Now you can see there's linear up to that point, okay? But after they say at 40,000, I'm paying 40% on the 5,000. So I suppose here's where calculations come into play. I'm paying the 7,000 and 40% of 5,000, which would be 2,000. So 7,000 and 2,000 would make 9,000. Okay. It's going to go up a straight line from there. So if I earned, say, 50,000, I'd be paying my 7 on the 35,000. Linear that way. So it's probably going to be up around here, but 60,000 would be the 7,000, and then 25,000 at the 40% would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 10, 7 would be 17,000, which would be up here. So you have your straight line. Let's go straight to the answer. Okay, you have your straight line as far as the 35,000. That's corresponding to the 7,000, and then it goes up faster because you're paying still the 7,000, but you're paying 40% on the excess. Here they are, the extra, and it's going up. Okay. Now I've worked out 3 points. Okay, just in the calculations here. Actually, 2 points. Okay. you know that it's going to be 0, 0 because you earn zero money, you pay zero tax. Okay, at 35,000, you paid 7,000. So that's your first point. At 60,000, you paid 17,000. Okay, so I have my last point. Okay, so that's the first part there. Now, part C here says, this graph doesn't take tax credits into account. Assume that everyone gets a tax credit of 3,000. Okay, now a tax credit is if I owed 3,000 in tax, and I had a tax credit of 3,000, I'd owe nothing. Okay, so if I owe 6,000 in tax, I have a tax credit of 3,000, I only owe 3,000. Okay, so on the diagram above, draw a graph to show the amount of income tax to be paid for every gross income from 15,000 to 60,000 per year, taking this tax credit into account. Okay. Now, if I go back, okay, I have that's where why the second graph was drawn. So the 25,000 cut-off point still matters. If you think about it here, if I earned 15,000, okay, I'd be paying 20% tax on that, which would be 20% would be 3,000. Okay, so I wouldn't, even though I owe 3,000 tax, I have a tax credit of 3,000, so I would still owe no tax. That's why it starts here. At 35,000, okay, which is here, I'd owe 7 take away 3, which would be 4,000. My second point. And my last point, okay, you can see there'll be parallel. Okay, if I owe 17,000 take away the 3, it'll be 14,000. That's that point there. So you can draw the second line. I would maybe draw it in a different pen, or as I say, as I have there, they have a dashed line, just to differentiate our label. Okay, tax credit, whatever, would help to identify them. So that's part C. Now I have the answer worked out there just to give you an explanation of it, but I think we've covered it. Okay, that's question 10. Okay, so see you on question 11.